I literally did nothing but type in, and I found Moontower, and that's the only place I ever looked. Yeah, like it was actually kind of crazy, like looking back at it, because I'm like, why did I not explore more options? Like I didn't tour anywhere else. I like went and toured, and I like signed like the next day.
They say college is the best 4 years of your life, and where you live and who you live with is a big part of what makes it so great. I'm Laura. I talk with students across the country about their college living experiences, the good, the bad, and the memorable, so you can learn from them and truly make these your best 4. This episode is brought to you by Rambler Austin. Rambler is a student apartment located in West Campus, just blocks away from the University of Texas. Y'all, this place is stunning. The first time that I walked in, I was absolutely blown away. I want you to think Tulum meets Austin meets retro. Also, the amenities are insane. They have a sauna, a resort-style pool, 2-level gym, and my personal favorite, on-site coffee shop called Daydreamer Cafe. The Rambler Matcha, my personal fave. I highly recommend checking out their website, rambleratx.com, for loads of information about anything you need to know about student housing. Plus, you can get your application fee waived by using the code THEBEST4. So again, application fee waived by using the code THEBEST4, THEBESTFOUR. And today, I'm here with Ava.
Hello.
Hi, Ava. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great.
Yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me, Laura.
Yeah, so for those that don't know you, I know we know each other, but for the listeners, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
For sure. So I'm a born and raised Texan from San Antonio, so just an hour and a half away. Went to UT a couple years ago, so I'm going into my junior year, which is so exciting. I feel like it's already halfway done, which is like insane to me because it's just been flying by college, but it's been having so much fun. I'm an advertising major. I'm an interior design minor, so lots of creativity there, and I do a lot of like work for nonprofits as well as like interior design and marketing. So I'm definitely exploring all routes and having the best time in college.
Amazing. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said that you're a born and raised Texan. So you're originally from Texas.
I've lived in
San Antonio.
Same house my whole life, like never moved.
Yeah. Okay. And why did you choose to go to UT?
I think it's just like Austin. Austin is just like the city I've always been drawn to. My sister went to St. Edward's, so she's a lot older than me, but I always like wanted to follow in her footsteps with the Austin area. UT definitely was not my number one or what I saw in my future, but as I thought more about like where I wanted to be, it was Austin. And then like UT has the number one advertising program. So I was like, why not say no?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So you lived at Moontower your freshman year, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I actually heard about Moontower when I was touring UT. I was like, not really in the vibe to tour because I was like anti-UT at first. I'm like, I'm not going to go.
So this was before you got in, right?
Yeah. So I was in auto though. So I'd like, if you're top 6%, you get auto into UT. I was an auto admit. So that's why I didn't want to go. I was like, it doesn't feel like an accomplishment getting into the university.
Where else did you apply? What was your top?
I was going to either SMU in Dallas or St. Edward's. So it was too private against the public. Yeah. I wanted to stay in Texas though, because I'm like, I love it. I'm from here. I want to stay here and everything. But UT was just like, after some decisions, I think in like February I decided, or January, February, and like I toured in like November, I think, because you have to apply by November.
Okay.
Or something like that.
And that's how you found out about Moontower when you were touring.
Just during my tour, one of like the tour guides was like, oh yeah, some people don't live on campus. I'm like, that's a little enticing, because it was like, that was like really cool to me. I was really dreading like living in a dorm, because you have to at like SMU and St. Edward's, I'm pretty sure. Like you have to live on campus, which was like, not my ideal idea. So when they're like, oh my God, there's this new building in the West Campus. I started my Google search. And
it was already built at that point.
Yes,
this
it was
2021, right?
Yeah, so it was fall of 2021. I found out about it. And then I ended up signing my lease in February of 2022.
Okay.
Before I turned 18 even.
Yeah.
Or January of 2022.
Okay. Yeah. So you toured it and you were like, off-campus housing sounds good for me. Why do you think you didn't want to live on campus? We've had some people come on the pod and they were like, I really wanted that dorm experience living on campus. So why do you think that you went the other way?
I just really wanted some like privacy. Like I grew up with an older sister who left the house when I was like in 3rd grade. So I then became like an only child. I always had my own bedroom, my own bathroom, never had to share like really intimately a living space, except for like my bathroom I used to share with my sister. So, and I feel like I'm just a really independent person. And the main thing that really I needed, I thought, was a kitchen. Like I could not live with like dining hall food. Like that disgusted me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I love cooking and baking. So I was like, I want a kitchen. I want my own space.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can have that for almost like the same cost as you can on campus.
Yeah. So you found out about Moontower. You decided you want to live off campus. Did you look at any other places off campus?
I literally did nothing but type in, and I found Moontower, and that's the only place I ever looked. Yeah. Like it was actually kind of crazy, like looking back at it, because I'm like, why did I not explore more options? Like I didn't tour anywhere else. I like went and toured, and I like signed like the next day or something.
Yeah. What was that experience like with your parents? Like, were they supportive of you living off campus, or were they like, we kind of want you to live in the dorms?
It was kind of a talk. It was like kind of like surprising, because I feel like living in an apartment, especially as like a freshman, is kind of like off-putting to some parents, just because like you're fresh out of high school, you just turned 18, you're just becoming an adult, and like being in a new city. But like as you like lay out between the options, I feel like it's honestly like an easier transition going from like your house to an apartment versus your house to a dorm, just because.
Why do you think that?
You have your own bedroom still. You have your own bathroom potentially. You have your own kitchen space.
Yeah.
And like you have your own designated area that feels like your home. I feel like a dorm feels like temporary, so it doesn't feel like as permanent, but you can make an apartment more permanent. Yeah. So they liked that. I liked all like the amenities they liked. But we definitely had like a conversation about it. They're like, oh, are you sure? Like, is this what you really want? It's just like the thing was I didn't have anyone to live with on campus, and I didn't want to go random roommates on campus. Yeah. But I did go random roommates off campus.
Okay, can you tell me about that experience, finding a roommate?
So I signed for a 3x3. So it's just like 2 other people. I'm like, that's kind of chill vibes, window room, connecting bathroom. But I was placed with these 2 girls at first, and then randomly, like a month before move-in, I got switched. Like I got an email saying like, hey, like we had to switch you around kind of thing. Like, what's going on? Because I've been like texting these girls that like I got matched with. Usually like matchings like with like a room sync, which is like your roommate matching profile.
You fill out like a survey,
a survey. You're questioning like, oh, are you a clean person? Are you messy? Do you wake up in the morning? Like,
and were you honest on yours?
I think so.
Not that I think that you would lie, but
since I like applied, since I was 17, my mom had to do the profile since I was not 18 yet. Oh. So it was technically my mom's name. Like my lease and everything was in my mom's name. But it's like, it works out like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I applied under my mom, but then I met these girls like on Instagram, texted them. So I matched with them. They were, I don't even remember what grades they were, honestly. Matched with them, we were texting, just like see like, oh, what do you want to buy for the apartment kind of thing. And then a couple weeks later, the manager emailed me, hey, like we're switching you. And I got pissed. I don't know why. I was just so confused.
Well, I mean, like it was kind of a surprise, and you'd already like known these girls.
Yeah, and I was like ready texting. I was like ready to go. But then I got matched with 2 different girls. Okay. But then of course we had to start texting and stuff on Instagram. It was a sophomore and a junior. So I was a freshman. So it was like different ages, which is I thought was at first a little daunting, but when I thought about it more, the older roommate, I feel like definitely gives some like guidance and like some help going into like a new transition. Absolutely. So the sophomore, she was an advertising major like me. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like we'll get to bond over classes and stuff. And then my junior roommate, she was pre-med, and then my best friend was pre-med. So it was like, oh, there's like some connection. And we all got kind of close. My roommate was a junior. We got really close. And then the sophomore roommate, we just like stayed low key kind of.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of want to go back to your parents really fast. When you kind of proposed your idea to them, like, do you have any advice for any incoming freshmen that maybe want to live off campus, like how to present it to their parents?
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely a good thing is just like all about comparing and contrasting between dorm life and then off campus, like apartments. So like here in like West Campus, there's definitely like different options between on campus, like there's private bedrooms, there's shared like double occ bedrooms, shared bath, like Jack and Jill kind of style, and then the common. And there's also like dorms off campus, which is like kind of a nicer dorm. Like
what are those?
That's like Castilian and like Callaway. And they have like a dining hall, so it's still like that same dorm life, but off campus. Right. I don't really understand those just because they're the exact same thing and more expensive than apartments.
Right.
But then there's like apartments, which you pretty much get to like mix and match whatever you want.
Yeah.
So definitely just like exploring all your options, comparing and contrasting, and just
Even though you didn't.
yeah, even though I didn't. Like,
You were like, this is it.
Yeah, I'm like, Mom, Dad, this is it. Like, I'm like, this is beautiful. I have to live here. Like, I imagined, I think I'm like a very, like, I see my 5 years out, and I'm like, once I see something, like, I know I want it. So I was like, Moontower, it's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's mine.
So you would say, like, cost, break down cost.
Yes.
Weigh out pros and cons.
Pros and cons.
Like, bring up, like, the benefits of living in an apartment versus not space. All of that.
Yeah.
So cool.
There's tons of factors, and it's, I feel like, unique for every person when they're exploring like what they want and need out of like their college experience.
So what was your experience like living in Moontower your freshman year? I know that you mentioned to me before that it was kind of the social hub where everybody came to hang out.
So it was really fun. Like, I think like just having my own space, I was able to like host people over, and like a dorm, it would have been cool and like more low key, but I definitely got to have like more people over because I had a bigger space.
Right.
So it definitely became a fun spot to hang out. All my friends that lived on campus came over almost every other day or every single day. Like my best friend, he came over almost every day, and then we just like hang out, go around, study downstairs, come up. My favorite thing I would do in my apartment is on Tuesdays, my freshman year, or like Wednesdays, something. We'd do like weekly like friend dinner. So we would like, I would cook and we would all eat together, and then like one person would clean up, I would cook, we would all like hang out, watch a movie. So it was like really like bonding, like family time, but like with your friends, which is really nice.
So you chose to renew at Moontower for your sophomore year.
Yes. So I renewed. It was a really complicated story, honestly.
Tell me about it.
My renewal history. So I renewed, like, I think leases open for renewing, like, in September of the, like the first year. Like, I've lived there for basically less than a month. And I was like, oh, time to renew. And I'm like, oh, I kind of really like my apartment. Like, it's a good vibe. Like it. Like my roommates. Let's just renew. Yeah. And at first I was like talking with my friends, like seeing if they would come move in, but some of them were on the fence. So I was like, I'm going to just sign just to make sure I have my spot
Why were they
secured.
on the fence? Like, what were their reservations?
It was all my friends that lived on campus that were like still deciding what they wanted to do next. Because it's like they had more options, I think, to explore. And then again, I really didn't explore that many options my sophomore year. I just was like, this is kind of good. I don't want to move. I'm like, my moving experience was like long enough. I'm like, I don't really want to go through that again. But I convinced one of my friends to sign with me. So she ended up signing in my 3x3 too. So I signed for a 3x3.
So you had two roommates.
Yes.
And then
one like said she wasn't going to sign. So then and the other one was like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to be a senior. Maybe I'm not going to live.
That was a junior. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was becoming a senior, but she ended up signing with us like later on, like a couple of months later.
Okay.
So in this 3x3 for next year. And then I started working at Moontower.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, like I started like learning all about like the other floor plans.
When did you start working at Moontower?
I started working December my freshman year.
Okay.
So like
after you decided
after you decided
to renew.
Yeah.
And what drew you to that role? Why did you want to work
I think
there?
it was like kind of cool. Like when I toured, I was like, I would love to do this, like just show people around.
Yeah.
Like yap all day, you know, about the place. I think it's like beautiful, of course. Like I'm so into interior design. So I'm like, this property is amazing and I would love to like showcase it. Yeah. So I did like some work in property management the summer before. So I was like, oh, let me like explore this. It has a little bit of marketing. It has a little bit of property management, real estate. I just like applied and I got the job. Yeah.
So what did you learn? Was it you were a community assistant?
A community ambassador was the title.
Community ambassador. Okay. What did you learn?
There's a new thing you learn every day working at a property for sure. But I think there's lots of like skills when it comes to like the practical leasing side, and then also like selling yourself, but also like selling the property. You have to work with like how to like promote the property in like a way, or like how to speak about it, and how to like when you tour, which is my favorite part of like when I did leasing was tours, like making the tour unique for every person. Yeah. Of course, like giving the same spiel about like all the amenities and the spaces, but like really connecting with them, getting to know them as a person, like and like seeing how that property can be a part of like their lives for the next year. And especially like the parents, like making sure like they can see this vision for their student and like feel comfortable and make them feel like safe and secure.
Yeah. Do you remember any questions, like any good questions you got on the tour? Or what do you think would be important to you now? Like if you were to go tour another place?
I think definitely like a normal one is all about like utilities. Like everyone asks like, are they included or are they not included? How is that divided amongst like roommates?
Are they usually not included in like,
Mine
West
weren't
Campus?
included, but some places do include them or like have like a flat fee.
And do you have to set it up through the
I
city?
didn't have to do anything. Some people have to set it up through the city. I use simple bills through Moontower. So like you just have to make an account basically.
So they make it pretty easy.
Yeah. And it's like pre-divided the bill so you don't have to like be worried with your roommates like, oh, like you need to pay this or you were using the shower too much. It's just like
nice.
Divided for you. So
and how much would you say a month are utilities? And I know you live in a 3x3, so it'd be different for a larger or smaller unit. But for you, how much?
I pay between like $30 to $80 a month. So like in the wintertime, it usually gets way more expensive just because of like heat and like I guess water. And like my Christmas tree plugged in, I had like too many hours of the day.
Be on.
Yeah, come on, celebrate the
24/7.
Holiday spirit. But I think like 30 to 80, but usually was like a good average
per person.
Yeah, per person.
Okay.
Average 50. I would say. That's pretty common for like everyone.
And what are some other fees? Like
there's usually we had a green fee at our place, which just means like printing was one of the things, and then like LED light bulbs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much is that?
That was $25 a month.
Okay.
And then we had a tower view fee. So I faced the tower in my 3x3, but for some reason it wasn't on the fees. But when I moved to my 4x4 this year, I pay the fee because I have like floor to ceiling tower view windows. I'm like, I'll pay this for this beautiful view.
Yeah. And how much is that?
25.
25. Okay.
And then there's a floor premium too.
Okay. For being higher up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's like 9 through 18, and I think it's additional 35 a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those can add up.
Yes, and they're kind of sneaky because they're not in like the rent amount.
Right.
They're added on top of those.
Exactly.
So that's definitely like a good thing for like parents to ask or like students to ask. Just like, what hidden fees do you have? Because it can really like trip people off guard when you like see your first like month of rent and you see like that's not what I signed for, but it was, but it's just like a little hidden in there, you know?
This episode is brought to you by Daydreamer Cafe, every college student's favorite coffee shop. Daydreamer offers amazing handcrafted coffee, espresso, and my personal favorite, matcha, in a beautifully designed space. With 2 locations on West Campus, Daydreamer is the perfect spot for UT students to grab coffee or study with friends. Download the Daydreamer app and use our promo code BEST410 for 10% off your first mobile order. That's BESTFOUR10. So going back to your renewal story, I want you to finish it.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, yeah. So I started working, and then I was like, okay, let's move to a different floor plan because I found a better one. Switched to a 4x4, the Durant it was called. It was like another floor to ceiling one. But this one had like disconnecting bathrooms, some connecting. It just really, in a shared bathroom, it just wasn't like a full vibe.
Right. Yeah.
But I signed for it.
Okay.
And then a couple months later, I like switched it because I was working there. I was like, let me switch this again.
Yeah.
Signed for a different 4x4, which is the one I'm in now.
Okay.
Everyone has their own bedroom. Everyone has their own bathroom.
Yeah.
Much more secure and like better for me and my friends. So I have the 4x4, my best friend that moved in with me during the 3x3, like the summer going into our sophomore years. She stayed with me throughout those crazy transitions, and she lives with me now in the 4x4 I have.
Yeah.
And then my third roommate is actually someone I toured when working. I was like, hey girl, like, do you want to live with me and my friend?
I love that.
And she's like, maybe. And then like she like DM'd me on Instagram. She somehow like found my Instagram, and then she's like, hey, can I actually live with you?
Yeah.
And now
were you on like the Moontower?
Yeah.
Were you on the Moontower Instagram?
Yeah, I had to do a lot of those like videos.
Yeah.
We definitely like did it more comedy style, I would say.
Yeah.
It was like the Instagram, like more funny, like
trend,
yeah,
like TikToks and stuff. Okay.
For sure.
Okay, so going back to renewing, and what was that process like? Because I know at UT, they like apartments will kick you out for like 2 weeks. Did that happen because you were moving into a different unit, or were you able to stay?
So it just depends. So like when you renew, you either are like a renewal in your same unit or a transfer. So when you transfer, it means like of course, like you're switching apartments.
Yeah.
So if you're switching apartments, there's 2 options. You can either switch and never move out. So like stay in your current apartment until the next one's ready.
Yeah.
And then move into the next one. But if you don't want to pay. So you have to pay for that.
Okay.
And I think
Another fee.
Another fee, yeah. I think it's like $200 or $300 you have to pay.
Okay.
Just because like you're waiting till your new unit's ready. So it means like they have to get the new units ready faster for like the transfers.
Yeah.
Or you could be like, no, I don't want to do that. Move out for like 2 or 3 weeks and
Right.
then move back in. So
why do
homeless
they like,
for
yeah.
a couple weeks.
And that's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do they make people move out for two to three? Like, what are
like,
they doing?
So that process is called like turn. So everyone moves out usually at the end of July, and then
Right.
people move in like the week before school starts. So like that Thursday, Friday, usually before school starts. So it's only about like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And basically like people live in this unit for a whole year. Of course it's gonna get messy. There's gonna be damages.
Right.
So like turn process is just like making the unit pretty again, like
Got it.
fixing it up.
Okay.
So it's like paint, any like maintenance that needs to be done, and then of course like cleaning the units, and that really takes quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
Place is usually empty during that time because it's either like just people that are staying in their unit or like transferring units or like randos, I guess. that are
Yeah.
there.
So what did you choose to do?
I just did a Renewal direct transfer. So
Okay.
direct transfer just meant like I stayed in my old unit and then moved to my new unit when it was ready. So it was like I didn't have to move when everyone else was moving in. I got to move in a little bit earlier to my new unit, but I like had a place. I never had like a night without.
And
a
is
place
that
to
because
stay.
you worked at Moontower?
Yes
or did you,
and no.
Okay.
Like because like I would have done it anyway. I feel
Right.
like just because.
And you paid?
Yes, I did pay.
Got it.
I had
Okay.
to pay even though I was an employee. I did pay. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
You're like, take this out of my check. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like please.
Okay, cool. So the people that I guess you moved in with, what did they do
For which year?
for
This current year?
sophomore year?
Okay, so like I just finished sophomore year. Okay.
Yeah.
So
The girls that you were moving in with,
Yes.
where were they living and how was that moving process for them?
Okay, so my one roommate, my best friend, she was the one I know from high school. She moved in with me the summer before we technically moved in. So she moved into my 3x3 with me as like
Did
a
she take
summer sublease.
over
Yeah.
somebody's lease?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she did like a little sublease,
Yeah. How do subleases work?
It's through Moontower still. You have to still do it through your property because if you do a sublease, it's technically not in your lease agreement. So it's pretty much just like you let them know, and then they do an application, and they sign the same lease as yours.
Okay.
So it has like all the same information, and then
Yeah.
like the dates are just like changed basically.
Okay.
But it has like the same rate and everything.
Yeah.
And then the person who's doing it, like the person who is currently there, has to pay $500 for
Okay.
that to get rid of their lease basically
Yeah.
and give it to someone else.
Okay. And can you do that at any time during the year, or is it just like summer?
Yeah.
It's allowed.
You can do
or-
it like anytime. So like even before your contract starts, you can actually do it.
Okay.
Which is like a good thing to consider when like signing for an apartment, because like some people are like, oh my goodness, like I don't want to sign just in case. It's not like canceling your lease, because like canceling your lease is a completely different story.
Right, you're just transferring
But yeah,
your lease
like a
to
transfer
somebody else.
transferring your lease is only about $500.
Yeah.
And like you can find someone sometimes, especially if it's like before school starts or like maybe like December when people are like traveling abroad for the next semester.
Right,
It's
yeah.
really common. The only time you just have to do like a full month though. Like it just has to be a full 31 days or whatever.
for the new person that's coming in.
And it
to
can't be
live.
like middle of your contract. It has to be like the rest of it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they can't like come in for a month and then like leave and then you
Yeah,
go back
no.
in. Like it's a done deal.
Yes,
They're
for
in
sure.
there now. You can never come back. Got it. So that's what your best friend did in the summer. So she
Yes.
just moved in.
Yeah, from her dorm, moved in, and then she ended up working with me at Moontower. So she was the
Fun.
inside scoop too.
Yeah.
And then we moved together from that 3x3 to a 4x4.
Yeah.
And then our other roommate, she was an incoming freshman. So she was just moving in from home. So it was nice. And she got to move in like a couple days early just
Right.
because like we were already living there.
You guys had, yeah.
And we had the insider.
Yeah.
Insider. If you want to become a leasing agent, you do have a lot of like hopefully
That's good,
priorities. It's
yeah.
like you get to know like the behind the scenes and like really understand what's going on. Like some
Yeah.
people like have trouble seeing that as a resident, but when you work there, you definitely have a little bit more of like a heart to
Yeah.
the place.
So do you know anybody that had any, like, I don't want to say horror stories, but like somebody who didn't have somewhere to live for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I
Like,
do. Like I had someone that wasn't able to move in, so he just like crashed on my couch for like a night or two until he found somewhere place to stay.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of nice, like a little sleepover time. My boyfriend, when he was moving into his new place, he didn't have a place to stay for a couple days, so he like stayed at home. Like he's from Austin, so he like stayed there, and then he also like stayed at my apartment too.
So I'm so curious because you have an internship right now, and so you need to be here over the summer. So is it like if you have an internship, how do you like stay if you have to like move out? I guess like does it usually like do your summer plans dictate like where you're going to be living in the summer, or is it kind of like vice versa?
I lived part at home last summer and part here in Austin. So I worked in like San Antonio with an internship during the week, came here on the weekends, worked at Moontower. Yeah. So I would like still live at my apartment and not like put it to like waste, especially since I didn't want to like transfer my lease since I was potentially living in the unit or like transferring units. Yeah. So like I think it definitely depends about like where you work and like where you want to be for the summer. Like I know I have some friends that go back home and just like don't do anything with their apartment and just let it like stay there. I think for me it was really important just to be like have a place that's like comfortable and like ready. And, like, internship in Austin, of course I want to stay here. Yeah. Great place, and like it's really like a different vibe. An Austin apartment in West Campus in the summer, it's like dead. It's like it's so nice. I love it. There's like no one, the elevator.
Peace and quiet.
It's so fast. Like there's like
so many spots open at the pool.
Yes.
Gym is empty.
Yes. Everything. Yeah. The only thing that's going on is just like little middle school like summer camps around like West Campus. They're like on the school bus, like honk, honk.
That's so funny. And you mentioned like your parents being like, I don't know if you're going to be able to go get groceries, and that makes me think of like cars.
I didn't have a car.
You didn't have a car?
No, I didn't get a car till this year. So I was carless in West Campus, which is like the easiest place to be without a car.
Right.
Everything's walkable. Your classes are like 10 minutes away max.
Yeah.
Like
what would you do if you had to
catch a ride with a friend?
Okay.
You know, like
you want to go to like Sephora or
the
Target,
mall, like the Domain, like that's the place to go. I would definitely just like be like, hey, like let's go hang out. Yeah. Okay, let's go grocery shopping for me.
Okay.
And then I would cook them dinner. Yeah. That was like my thing. Like if my friend took me to go grocery shopping or something, I would then make them a meal was like my agreement. Or I also did like deliveries. You can get your HB delivered to your apartment.
Smart, yeah.
So that was like my easy way out.
Like a post-COVID world is like you can get everything and anything.
Everything can be delivered, like Uber Eats, everything. Yeah. But yeah, without a car was interesting. I didn't have a car at all last year, which was like fine.
And now you have a car now.
Yeah.
So how would you say that's changed?
It's like changed, but it also feels the same. Like I kind of like don't like having as much freedom as I do because I'm like I used to be like. I always like had someone to go with somewhere because like I had to ride with them, but it was never like I always like made it even. I didn't want it to be like I'm definitely like picking up on my car rides now. Like I'm taking people places and like I need it. Like I'm sorry I made you drive me around. Like,
repaying the favors.
Yeah, repaying with the car rides now. But it's so easy going grocery shopping now. Like on my own in my car. I'm like, thank God. Like I don't have to beg.
Do you think that UT students need a car, or are there any situations where they would?
It just depends. I think where you're from. Like since I'm from San Antonio, I'm just like really close. My parents were really nice enough to like drive and come get me when I wanted to go home.
That's nice.
Or
I didn't have a car in college either. Yeah. And I went to UT Arlington and I had to take the Amtrak train back, and it was terrifying.
Interesting, I bet, for sure.
I have a lot of horror stories. That's for another episode.
No, yeah. I just like would always like even like catch a ride with my friends. Like my friend that lived here, I'd catch a ride home with like them, which was nice. So like it just depends. Like if you're like in Texas, it's definitely easier if like your parents are willing to take you home or take the Amtrak, or like there's like the buses, like the Greyhound or whatever. Like have fun.
Now they have the Von Lane, which is nice.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There's like
they're
the pretty like not bad the price too.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't go home like I think not that many times. I don't think like freshman year I waited to go home. I'm like I'm gonna be a grown up, and I like waited till I think November or like October. I made it like. I was like, yes.
So I'm curious, something that I feel like I always hear and some of our other guests have talked about is it's important to sign your lease early. As a community ambassador and somebody who also signed their renewal like 1 month in. Do you agree with that?
I think it's just like a nice like feeling like secure. Like you never know what can happen in West Campus with like the leases. Like I feel like especially if you're looking for like smaller apartments. They usually fill up faster, like
Right.
1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms, just because there's not as many units usually in an apartment. So if you're like looking to be by yourself and like those, definitely sign those really fast. 4x4s and like 5x5s, there's definitely more options. Like the rule of thumb usually with like leasing is they'll be like the lowest at the beginning and then it'll rise as people sign. So
Right.
a certain amount of like
So you
units.
do want to get, if you want a low rate,
Yes, you want to sign a little bit earlier.
beginning.
Like, and if you're
Yeah.
renewing, you technically only have your like renewal rate for like a couple like months or like a couple weeks, and then it just like goes to like the regular like market rate.
Oh,
so like you
okay.
want to get like the cheaper rate before everyone
Yeah.
else gets like, or can take your unit because they
Yeah.
can take your unit if they sign.
Right. So why did you choose to renew at Moontower?
I renewed just because of like moving was not like the vibe for me. I
Yeah.
did not want to like move completely out, like especially without like being without like in a place to stay. Maybe for 2 weeks I was like not feeling that, and I didn't really see everything I had at Moontower fit my needs. I like the location, I like my floor plan and everything. So I feel like it's definitely an easy option, and I feel like it's
Yeah.
an option people just really don't consider.
Yeah.
Like they see like maybe like one thing goes wrong during the year at the property they stay at. Like, oh, I'm never gonna live here like ever again. Like it was horrible. But like if you like specifically like your apartment itself, I feel like it's really good
Yeah.
to just like stay in it and like make it. It makes it feel like a home
Yeah.
longer than because like you've lived there for like a year or 2 years or 3 years now.
And I'm curious too, if you, because you decided to renew again. So you were
3 years.
living in Moontower for 3 years. So clearly you really like it. But I'm just curious because I feel like over the past couple years, like some newer apartment complexes with like also really stunning interior design and architecture have popped up. Did you ever consider those?
I did. I didn't consider them, funny enough, until after I signed my renewal
Yeah.
lease.
Yeah.
I was like, oops, like I signed already, but maybe I'll like sign there too.
Yeah.
I think for me, like for this year specifically, the apartment I'm in now, I love the floor plan and the price didn't change. Like it didn't increase, which is like
That's nice,
really
yeah.
uncommon, I think, in West Campus. Usually,
Yeah.
of course, it goes up just because like how the market is.
So that's normal for your rate to go up.
Yeah, it usually will increase maybe $25, maybe $100. Like you
Okay.
really never know. So
Yeah.
it's definitely like a good thing. Like if your rate stayed the same or lowered, like you want to snatch it up really fast.
Yeah.
So my rate was a thing. Like it stayed the same. So I'm like, oh, it was also like cheaper than some like other nicer, newer places. So I was like, I'll just like stay in the apartment I love
Yeah.
and pay the same amount. I think it's just like the moving, the apartment. I also just like really wanted my window room with a connecting bathroom, and I feel like it's kind of hard to find in West Campus just because there's some windowless rooms
Yeah.
hiding about like the floor plans. So just like finding a floor plan that fits all your roommates' needs as well as your needs can
Yeah.
definitely be challenging. Just because like say your friend wants a window and you want a window,
They might
and
not
maybe
have
there's another
that.
person who wants
Yeah.
a window. It's really hard to like find like
Yeah.
the apartment that.
And so it
has that.
worked for you.
Yeah.
Did you keep the same roommate?
So I'm keeping my friend that moved in with me, my high school friend. My other friend's moving into the sorority house, so
Okay.
she's gonna be going into her sophomore year, moving into the sorority house. Just like rite of passage for her.
Yeah.
And then we're getting a new roommate. She like took over her lease because she actually signed to live with us, and then she's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna move into the sorority house."
Yeah, yeah.
So she had someone take over her lease, and
That transfer.
yeah, that transfer,
Yep.
and we still don't know who our fourth is. So it's a surprise to me still.
Oh, fun. So was your renewal story any different from like the first year? Did anything really change?
I think it was just like more smooth this year. Like I knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
Like I've been here. I was like, okay, sign the page. Like I think I signed pretty fast. Like I think I signed the day it dropped.
Yeah. You were like, it seems like you're someone where you're like, I know what I want.
Yeah. I'm just like, it's good.
Yeah.
I'll keep it.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what's like worth changing, honestly, when you like
Yeah.
what you have.
And what are you thinking about for your senior year? Because I know you mentioned to me that you don't think that you will live at Moontower your senior year. What do you think you're going to do?
I don't know yet.
I mean,
for
it's like
sure.
literally like in,
Yeah, but
we're
you
not
have
even
to.
in your junior
You have
year
to
yet.
think about it by like
Yeah.
September. Like you need to know at least like.
So
your
you're already
plan.
thinking about it.
Oh yeah,
right now.
like I've
Yeah.
had the whole conversation with my parents because even like my parents are kind of like freaking out. So I don't want to sign again.
Wait, why are they freaking out?
Just because if you don't sign, my parents are like worried like I'm not going to get anything.
I thought they were like, you've lived at this place for too long. Like, do you not
no,
want
they're
experiencing?
like fine with it. They like they chill. Like they like Moontower.
Yeah.
No, I just really want a house maybe.
Okay.
Senior year, just like that transition. I have a dog. And I really want a yard.
Yeah,
So
fair.
he just needs somewhere to run. Cowboy just needs to run free and not be like he was raised in my apartment. So I just want him to give it a little freedom.
So where are you looking, like, a house?
I don't know yet for sure. I've like looked on Facebook Marketplace. Like they always have like the leases for like West Campus houses, like that are like a little bit farther back, just like a couple blocks back, closer like to Pete's Park, which is really nice.
Right.
Or I'm gonna look at maybe like north.
Is that still considered like West Campus over there, or
I
is
think
it?
so.
Okay.
I would consider it West.
Yeah.
I don't know if it has like a name though.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't know. Maybe North Campus though, like Hyde Park. If I'm lucky.
Yeah.
But
is it hard to get a house up there?
I don't really know. Like I have some friends that live in houses, but only in West Campus.
Yeah.
I just really wanted something different though, a little bit big girl step again.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know. I just really don't want to live in. I want to downsize like my roommates for sure for senior year. So I don't think I want to live like in a 4x4, and then like 2x2s are pretty expensive. So I'm like, if I can get a house that's like a little bit more or like the same, and I can have a place for Cowboy to run and like be outside, I think that's definitely like a sacrifice I can make.
Right. So I think a big transition if you're going into a house is you're going to have to furnish it.
No, yeah.
So how do you feel about that?
I'm excited. I mean, my interior design gets to come out a lot.
True.
Definitely, I'm into starting to save my money, I guess, for that idea. I love a little like thrifted, vintage find. So I'm already scouring for stuff. Like, I already like picked
on
up
Facebook Marketplace.
just everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. I pick up little goods here and then I'm like, but like maybe for next year for my house that doesn't exist yet. Like this would be so cute. But I think it'd be fun for the furniture. It's definitely like something you get to hold on to and keep longer. Definitely into like sustainability. So I don't want to like get something I'm not going to use for like a house again. But it's really nice having a furnished apartment. It's a really big
question. Yeah.
It's a big plus. Like I've not bought any other furniture, I don't think, really for my apartment. So like,
what is it? What do apartments in West Campus normally come with?
It comes with a couch, a coffee table, a console table, your TV, which is really nice. You don't have to buy a TV even. So that's pretty good.
Is that a premium or it's just
just included?
Okay.
Yeah. Some bar stools at like the kitchen counter, and then in our bedrooms, I have a nightstand, a bed, 2 dresser drawers for like all my clothes, and then a desk and a chair. So pretty much everything you need. There's no like
really
other
didn't
furniture
have to buy a lot.
I needed at all.
Just like decor.
Yeah, just like decorate it up and make it like feel homey.
Yeah.
Which is really nice because like making it be more sterile, I feel like is not like a vibe. Definitely like making it be about you, like your apartment, and like showcase your personality and stuff can make it feel way more comfortable and enjoyable.
And are most apartments like that, semi-furnished?
Okay. I think most usually come furnished. Some you have to like pay extra to have the furniture.
Okay.
The quality of the furniture just depends like on your apartment. Like if it looks good, it's definitely like more basic, just so it's more customizable for the person. It's not like very feminine or masculine. It's just very like gender neutral, which is amazing, I think, for everyone really. But you can like opt in or opt out at some places. But Moontower, you have to have the furniture.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, you have to store it yourself though, and then like bring it back, or you get charged.
Got it.
So it's like the furniture can get expensive.
Yeah, it
can go missing too.
Okay. So looking ahead, house maybe in your future, we'll manifest it. Manifest a house in Hyde Park. But kind of looking back, what is one piece of advice that you would give an incoming UT student?
Definitely just like meet new people, and like you never know who the person to like left or right of you could be, like become your best friend. Like so just like hold on to those people you meet though too, as long as you can. It's okay if they like you have to let them go. Like it's definitely like a big challenge, like or like learning experience, like meeting all these people so fast in college and like having your friends back home, but just like don't take any second for granted. Like just explore new things, make fun experiences, live it up. It's like college, of course. And I think it can be like so much fun. You have to put in as much effort to make it like an outcome though. So like you can't just be like sitting around and like thinking people are going to come to you. You definitely have to get out of your shell, put yourself out there. Maybe if you have trouble doing that, always like stick to your friend that does that, maybe that's really a
Yeah.
good, like, helpful thing, like meeting those people or like doing things with them can help you like just be more comfortable in that new environment.
Yeah.
So explore new options, new experiences. You never know. You might find a new hobby, new club to join.
Yeah.
You can have so much fun in college too.
Yeah. And then related to housing, what's one piece of advice?
Housing, you know yourself the best. So even though like I used to try to give the best tours, don't let them like persuade you into making a decision you don't want. Really just like think it through. Don't like feel like you have to sign right then and there. It can be like a little bit pressuring, but like maybe sleep on it or something. And like, again, that pros and cons list really I think is good. Like just think about everything you can get out of it.
Yeah.
And if you like can get something better at one place, like, oh, consider that option is for sure. Really
Definitely.
nice.
And would you say that these are shaping up to be the best 4 years of your life?
Yes, I literally love college so much.
Yeah.
I think it's like so fun. Like it's such a like a difference between high school to college, but it's a great difference, I think. It's like being a kid, but like you're not a kid anymore. It's just you have a new day, new something. Exploring Austin's the place to be.
Yeah.
And I think the 4 years of my life are great right now, and I can't wait to see what the next 4 are going to be.
Yeah, amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing your experiences. It's been such a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we will see you guys next time. Bye. Thank you so much for listening, y'all. If you like this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review. It helps us out a lot. For more info and to learn about our partners, visit thebest4pod.com. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at thebest4pod. We'll see you next time.